Several major rulings by the U.S. Supreme Court today. Good evening. This is CTV News for Thursday, June 27th. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Gina Barty. Thank you for joining us.
Well, for years, Governor Larry Hogan has been a vocal critic of how Maryland's voting districts were drawn, arguing that laws needed to be put in place to prevent giving one party an unfair advantage. But today, his hopes came crashing down as the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the Constitution does not bar political gerrymandering. Hogan says, quote, "Today's ruling was terribly disappointing to all who believe in fair elections." Prince George's council member and former state delegate Jolene Ivey says she too thinks the Supreme Court made a poor decision.
When you look at the rest of the country, you kind of feel like it should be done nationally and it should be done in a way that there isn't gerrymandering at all. I would be totally fine with having another Republican congressman in Maryland if the rest of the country were going to be fair. But that we're not living in fair times, and therefore I support keeping things the way they are in Maryland.
And Senate President Mike Miller also responded to the decision, saying gerrymandering needs a national solution, calling on Congress to come up with new rules. The Supreme Court also ruled on a law enforcement issue today. Justices affirmed that police can draw blood from unconscious drivers suspected of driving under the influence of alcohol.
The other significant ruling from the High Court today has dealt a blow to the Trump administration. In a 5-4 decision, the Supreme Court ruled that the administration cannot include the citizenship question on the 2020 census. For now, the government had argued that the citizenship question was needed to enforce voting rights laws, but the majority called the administration's reasoning contrived. The Census Bureau estimated that some 9 million people would not respond to the census if the citizenship question were asked. Evidence surfaced in May that challengers said showed the intent of the question was to discriminate against racial minorities.
Well, I think the question about citizenship, but as it relates to the census, isn't one that's really that appropriate. The census really is about how many people are living in any particular jurisdiction, and as a result of having individuals in a particular jurisdiction, that jurisdiction gets resources based on their population. So whether people are here, documented or undocumented, should be of no moment to the census process.
The Constitution requires the government to conduct a census every 10 years. The results also determine representation in the House and the Electoral College.
Police say multiple cars may have been involved in a fatal hit and run that happened last night on southbound Baltimore-Washington Parkway. Keisha Butts has the details.
It was a tragic night as a pedestrian was killed in a hit and run on southbound Baltimore-Washington Parkway at Interstate 495 last night. 52-year-old Mark Johnson Sr. of Baltimore was found in the roadway and pronounced dead when cops arrived on the scene at nearly midnight. Police say the crash happened on the overpass above Interstate 495. Cops have few details about this crash, but they do say that multiple vehicles may have been involved. Police are hoping to talk to witnesses who know anything about this incident. If you have any information, call the tip line at 202-610-8737. In Greenbelt, Keisha Butts, CTV News.
Again, that number, if you have any information about the crash, is 202-610-8737.